Right, 3, 2. Hello, welcome to the Runs podcast. I've got to work on that intro. It's stressing me out a little bit now. It feels odd. But yeah, carry on anyway. How's it going, Nick? You alright?
Yes, not bad, guy. We are back, episode 20.
Yeah, just turn the volume up on this. Yeah, episode 20. Hit 5,000 downloads this week as well. So thank you very much, everyone that's downloaded, listened. That doesn't include YouTube for the YouTube numbers. And nomad people tend to listen to him more, I think. Yeah, they do, don't they? I was talking to Mark Obbs down the triathlon the other day, and he said the thing is, loads of people just put it on when they go out running and stuff, won't they? So it's not really a TV one, unless you're Harvey Gray and Scott puts it on for his kid to see real men. But won't even do it.
Don't start that all week when he's been away.
He has. Oh, he ironed his shorts really nice, mind. They looked wonderful.
He didn't iron them.
Oh, what's been going on? Rack Raid was this week, wasn't it? Like, on the weekend just gone?
Yes. So that was Sunday. That was a good day. Cracking day out again with the Phoenix gang and all the other club runners over there. It was a good day. Hot, but yeah,
I was going to say, that was hot. And you were running. What time did you run?
I ran at like 4:30, so I didn't have the worst of it. But it was still boiling and it was hot. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought Rack Raid sounded cool anyway, but it means something as well, doesn't it? I seen it on Lizzie's story earlier.
Ruins and castle keeps.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
Yeah, even though like some of them, you think, where's this ruin or castle keep bank? Because like my stage finishes right on the side of the A48 by a pub. So I don't know. Obviously, it must have been years ago there was something there, or that's as close as they can get to it. But I think mine started. Mine was a good start. Caldecott Castle. That was like a nice start right outside that.
Yeah. Good. It was a good day, or?
Yeah, brilliant day, mate. Yeah, team done well overall. We done well, and individually everyone ran well. So I can't complain. Yeah, and all the other teams. I was there talking to a few people, and a few people who said they listened to the pod and that. And yeah, it was a good day. A couple of pints after a cider, so can't go wrong.
It's weird, isn't it, when these strangers are like introducing themselves to you, and it's like
it is.
I met when I went down. Did I say the other day I met Jay Price from Cumpark, is it? Carly's Run Club, and she was like, "Oh, are you Gareth from the Runs?" Yeah, Brimbar. And she's like, "Are you Gareth from the Runs?" And I was like, "Going red." I was like,
yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, happy day. I know. But yeah, thank you all for introducing yourself. It's been nice. I spoke to Tom Mahoney briefly earlier about castles, and hopefully the pod has brought everyone like a little bit. It'll be a bit more like, I don't know what it was like before, but a bit more interaction and a bit more understanding and knowledge of other clubs and stuff, and a bit more not friendly, because it's probably already friendly, but genuine interest, I guess, isn't it? You know, then everyone knows who each other is a bit more, maybe, rather than just names. Like,
yeah, it is like it's a huge, obviously, event, and it's been going a long time. But yeah, it's like on the day, it's mad how like the friendly rivalry. Like obviously everyone's competitive, but on the road when you're racing, like other teams will give you water and all that, like sponges when it's hot. It's great support, like all the way along every route. So yeah, it's a good camaraderie throughout. And yeah, everyone does like mix around with everyone. Everyone has a chat after and each day before you shoot off to the next one. Yes, brilliant. Rack Raid's similar, just on a smaller level, obviously.
Yeah.
Half the teams and probably half the distance.
You predicted the future for Rack Raid as well.
I did.
Well done, Jake Tasker. Adam Bull has been back. I've seen on Strava, he looks like he's back. Turning the miles in now. So maybe next year we've got Bull and Tasker chasing our record down on the same leg. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Because Tasker put a hell of a time down. 1:12.40 for a hot hilly half. Crazy.
What was Bull's record?
He took 2 minutes off it. So
he did. He said that, didn't he? Take another 2 minutes off. Fair play to him.
Yeah, man's machine.
Brilliant. Well done, Tasker. Excellent. What else has been going on? I have got my head around slow running.
Finally.
I thought slow running was like, just go like 30 seconds slower or something like that. But we done park run, didn't we? Well, I done half of my state park run on Saturday. my car, after about 2 laps, my calf turned to concrete. I thought you had to look anyway when you could have killed me when you see me walking back, and he was like, just walk it all. So I'm not walking 5K, no chance. I'll meet you on the finish line and we go for breakfast earlier. But I did go out then with Arlen, my brother, on Sunday morning. We went down Aberafan Beach. He had to do an hour. He's got Swansea half on the weekend. We'll get onto that as well now. So he said, do you want to just come with me? It's going to be really slow. And I really enjoyed it. We were running like 7.5 minute, not miles, K, innit? Yeah, 7.5 minute Ks. And it was still a workout, didn't it? But it was nice. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's nice and easy, and if you're chatting with each other, that's the pace you want to be. Don't worry about pace. You can hold a chat and just constantly talk. That's like easy running to me. And like a lot of people say that, and if you can talk constantly, if you can't, then you're having to be out of breath or struggling to keep up a sentence constantly, you're not running easy.
No, that's it, isn't it? And I mean, even for me to like looking at Porthcawl now when we get back, if we're to get that around an hour, I'm looking at 6 minute kilometers, isn't it? So my slow running needs to be much slower than 6.5 minute Ks, doesn't it?
Definitely.
But onwards and upwards now. Looking forward to that. I've made the executive decision not to pack my running shoes and just really enjoy the all-inclusive, chill in the pool, go on the swing, water park, and then get ready to rock when we get back in.
Good decision.
I know.
You've got to have a week off. Just go and enjoy it.
Just have another last week off, innit? Happy days. So that's, slow running. Looking forward to Porthcawl when we get back. Moving on to Porthcawl, that is probably going to be the debut for the vests. We were hoping to get them back the other side of the 6 weeks that we said, but turns out China like to have a long weekend and national holidays all the time, and they've had 5 days off in the middle of production. So the boys are racked, have pushed for it, but it's looking like they're probably not going to be back until around about the 13th, 14th. I'm away, but I think Dan is going to drop them off to you, or you're going to pick them up.
Yeah,
I'll send you a list to get rid of whoever's you can and them out. But I'll be wearing it for the first time in Porthcawl, 10K, which would have been the same because I haven't got any other races anyway.
No, but we get in about 10 days then. Is that right? We get
and then anyone that's far away,
that week can sort out that week.
Yeah, we'll get whatever we can get out, and then whatever that's left over, then we'll get them posted out, depending on the rush and stuff like that, because we've got to go and do a couple of park run appearances, so perhaps we can drop some off at the same time as well, and we'll just see how it goes, but we will be in touch once we've got them and let you know. Happy days?
Yeah. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, thank you very much for your patience. But it is still the 6 weeks that we said, but Scott Gray, again, has been working on 4 weeks being 6 weeks for the last 2 weeks as well.
He can't go.
It's not going to fit him anyway. No more picking on Scott Gray. I'm only joking. Your dad's a legend. Cool. Castles is this weekend and Swansea. We'll go to Swansea first because then we can talk a little bit more about Castles. Swansea off. Castles have probably lost a lot of people to that. Are they all the different teams? No, Ogmore has obviously because you wasn't going.
We wasn't going, so like a lot of I think Ben's on day one for us. He's running day one, and then he's still going to do Swansea. But obviously, Jake had already entered Swansea, so he's not pulling up to that because obviously he's towards the front end, is looking to PB. But I imagine there's a lot of people would have been. I don't know, because Castles people would have known about that a while ago. So
other teams will have full strength, I imagine.
Some teams do though. They done it last year. Some teams will have runners run Swansea in the morning, and then they'll come and run the last leg at like 3-4 o'clock from Caerphilly down. Like a couple of teams done that last year, and the runners were still quick.
Bloody hell! The weather for Swansea is looking quite nice, actually. A little bit of wind, sun is shining. 9 o'clock start or 10 o'clock start?
Oh, I don't know for Swansea. No idea.
13, 14 degrees. Lovely conditions for an hour.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's not as hot as this weekend just gone, so that's looking better for us runners.
Yeah.
Climbing mountains or running flat down Swansea.
I need to make a public service announcement because my brother's major anxiety is the amount of people that are going to say mistake him for me. So I'm not there. I'm on a plane to Lanzarote. If you think you've seen me in Swansea half, you haven't seen me in Swansea half. It's my brother. His name is Arlen. He's got his bib on with his name on there. 333, I think his number is. I don't know if that's good luck or bad luck or no luck at all. But if you do see him, give him a shout out and cheer him along because he's worked really hard for this one. Fair play to him.
Yeah, he has. In fairness, he's put a good bit of training together, hasn't he? Yeah. Is it his first half?
No, he done Cardiff last year, didn't he?
Cardiff.
Walk run. I think he'll have a good effort to this one. Fair play.
Yeah, he's got well.
He's sucked in now. He's like, I'm going to have to get carbon plate shoes. I said, don't get them yet because your race is this weekend. Like, but he said, going forward, I'm going to have to get some race shoes as well. So, unlucky sucker. He's sucked in now, and it's going to cost a fortune. So I'm not going to be there, but he will be there. So plenty of support. It will be plenty of support for everyone as well. He's like, do you know anyone that's running there? I said, yeah, well, Jake Tasker's running there. I think Dewi Griffiths is running there. Emily Martin is running there. He said, yeah, but do you know anyone that's going to be running in there in my time? I said, I don't think so. But they're going to be, one of them will be taking the ribbon down, I imagine.
Yeah.
Did they put the ribbon back up for first girl?
What's that?
Did they put the ribbon back up for first?
Yeah. They will, yeah. First female, they will, yeah.
I reckon. But is there pros or?
I don't know on the women's side, because obviously I know Dewi's doing it. I imagine there's a strong field men's side, because it's probably a decent prize money. And I'd imagine it might be for the women as well, a decent field, I'm not sure.
But good luck to everyone running Swansea half this weekend as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Castles. Now, I'm gutted that I'm not going to Castles, and I don't even know what it is. I know kind of what it is. It's a 2-day relay. But everyone is like super buzzing for it as well. And everyone's been messaging. They're like, oh, make sure you're up there now with the camera, get some good content. I'm like, well, I'm going to be on the way to Lanzarote. But I think I spoke to Darren Bishop from Ponty. He's going to get some content and send it over. Arwell from Run for All Neath, he's going to get some content to throw it over. If anyone else wants to send anything over, get some photos, get some videos or snaps of people that have been on the pod or haven't been on the pod, or suggestions of anyone you want to be on the pod, and get it all over, and we'll try and do something with Castles once it's finished as well, and that'll be cool.
Yeah, we'll be here. I'll be doing the same, obviously, between driving and rushing around. I'll do my best as well there to be there, getting some content and encouragement to everyone out there.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. It should be a good weekend.
Yeah. Who's going to win it?
I don't know. A couple of the English teams, Highgate, Kent, Leeds, Ponty won't be far off if they've got a stronger team as they should have on paper. I know Jake's running, Jake Smith.
Morley. His sister Morley, who is absolutely flying as well, by the way. Sent a message in earlier and said she's looking forward to watching Jake break the course record. So,
what did she say? What leg he's on?
No, she didn't say what leg he's on. I thought she was on about Jake Tasker, but turns out no.
No, he's not running.
No,
because it's very cards close to your chest. See, with clubs like that, they don't like letting you know. They got to put a team sheet in Friday to less groups, but then it's very like.
Yeah. You don't know who you're racing until you rock up with the line, is it? Or will you see a team sheet before?
I think you might find out on the Saturday morning when they publish it, less groups, but till then, yeah. So it could be quick notes. Less groups is event, yeah, they're the organisers and they run it. So I think they publish it either Friday night or Saturday morning, but then I don't think you can change then. So, like some clubs would be tactical. If you've seen everyone, you could be tactical probably. He's 2 minutes quicker than him, so we'll put him there and bump so now we've just got to do it blind and try and work out the best way for your runner. Different types of legs, like there's 6 mountain stages, 3 each day. They say they are mountain stages, but none of them are easy. Like they're all tough. There's hills in all of them.
Here we go. Excellent. Exciting times, and I will run all day Sunday as well. So you're running, we can't tell. We're not saying what leg you're on, just in case anyone gets a little bit scared.
I still don't even know what leg I'm on because we're having a nightmare with our team because it's obviously last minute. I was 3, now I'm not. So I think I know what I'm on now. But yeah, this was start Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, Carnarvon Castle. Works its way down 10 legs to Newtown, sort of mid Wales. Overnight stop there, and then starts again the next morning at 7 o'clock. So the Sunday's an earlier one because they want an earlier finish. Because I think the last leg goes off something like 3 o'clock. So you all get into Cardiff, Big Park, just by the castle, just up from there by 4, 4:15, they hope.
Do that.
So, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, it froze a little bit then, but you're back. Happy days. Right, this week we've got Kelly Ruck, also known as Kellogg's _ on the run on Instagram. Should we get it in for a chat?
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's do that. Welcome back after the break. Me and Nikki are still here, and we have got Kelly with us. She was very, very prompt in the waiting room. Fantastic. Thanks for that, Kel. How's it going? You okay?
Yeah, good. Just, I don't know, mulling along, nothing exciting happening, nothing disastrous, just, in the middle.
A nice middle day.
I'm surprised to see you indoors because you're always doing something by the looks of your Instagram. So thanks for giving up time. And if you've had to move anything around, fantastic. Thank you very much. But before we get into what's coming up, where did it all start for you? Through at school or where's it gone?
God, no. I mean, at school, I hated PE, all of that, typical. Avoided it. I was actually probably nipping off into the woods for a fag, just anything but running. However, I was quite active as a kid, always out on my bike, riding horses. Just hated PE. I hated that whole sports thing. I just like being outside,
Yeah.
So I didn't start running until 7 years ago, so after my youngest daughter was born.
Okay.
And until then, just not into sports at all.
Well, that's not that long ago then. Yeah, didn't realise that.
Yeah, no, it was actually I got into running to get fit for a 3 Peaks challenge. So it wasn't even because I wanted to start running initially. I was just I wanted to lose a bit of baby weight, that story. And I had a 3 Peaks challenge coming up, and I was like, well, I want to be really fit for that, so I'll join, I'll do a couch to 5k, and I hated that as well. So
it wasn't a good start then.
No, I got hooked by running really quickly, just not in any conventional way. It was just finding kind of my own thing with running, and just finding my way, how I was enjoying it. And for me, that was popping off into the woods and just running a bit, walking a bit. And that's when it started. And then I entered a race, hated that as well. I spewed up on the finish line because obviously really overexerted myself. And then signed up for a half marathon as soon as I got home.
As we do every time.
Yeah. And then it just all escalated from there. So I'm really late onset runner, even later triathlon, which I'm now dabbling in. So it's just
Yeah, we have seen.
What's going on? Yeah, it's madness. So nothing in school, smoking.
Yeah.
And 7 smoking. That was wheeling and dealing. 30 pence a fag in, or how much was a fag at the Field's End?
Yeah, 50p. I used to nick my dad's fags. I used to get them from an air stewardess he knew, so we always had these great big boxes, Benson and Hedges as well. So it was up market,
That's a bad guest.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you were doing the 3 Peaks. What was you doing the 3 Peaks for?
So I was actually doing it in memory of my son. So my firstborn son passed away when he was 2 days old. And I did an awful lot of fundraising for him. So I was like, for him, but for SANS, the charity.
Yeah.
So I did all these like challenges, and that was one of them. And I ended up doing it with a broken wrist on my own, which is another story. But yeah, so that was why I was doing that at that time.
No problem.
How was it? Was it
And
hard?
Yeah.
Tell you what, it was actually the second attempt that I did it. So there was 3 of us that did it the first week, and it was disastrous. One of the girls broke her ankle on the way down Ben Nevis, which was the first mountain. So it was all called off. We went to A&E, we were in hospital all night, and she had to get that sorted. But because I was doing it for charity, I was like, well, I'm not going to wait any longer. Like, all these people had sponsored me to do it. So I went up the next week on my own with my partner at the time driving, and I did it solo. But I broke my wrist coming down Ben Nevis. It was like, okay, so I got to the bottom of Ben Nevis and my wrist is like flopping around like this. And I'm like, I'm not going to hospital. This is not happening again. It cannot happen the week after the first one. So I then, I did it with a floppy wrist, which was excruciating at times, especially like coming down the mountains. But I wouldn't go and get it sorted until I'd finished and did the challenge.
Fair play.
I did it in 22 hours, so I was chuffed with that, with a broken wrist.
That's class.
Yeah.
Love it.
Is that important to walking?
What's that?
Is the wrist that important? Like, if it was your ankle, but did your wrist hurt a lot doing it?
No, it was fine going up. It was fine. The problem with I took this banner which had loads of babies' names on it from people that had sponsored me. So other people that had lost babies and children. So for me, I had to hold this massive banner at the top of each mountain, and it was designed for multiple people to hold. So that was the first issue. So somebody had to like help me at the top, hold it out. It was just like trying to get my hand to hold this banner. And then get it in and out of gloves. Thankfully, there's loads of people also doing the challenges at the same time. So there was always somebody to help. But yeah, going down was horrific. It was just the impact because I was running down the mountain.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I could feel it then. So I'd try and hold it,
I don't think I'll be rushing to do the 3 peaks then.
Done that now. That's one and done.
Yeah.
Having off.
I've just learned a really valuable lesson about doing research before these podcasts as well, because I thought when I asked that question, you would say you were raising money for Diabetes UK or something, and it would lead us nicely on to talking about diabetes.
Yeah.
But no, here we are, but we move forward. But, Kel, you are a type 1 diabetic, and ever since we started the podcast, I said to Nikki, I want to get Kelly on because she's a type 1 diabetic, and my little boy is as well.
Yeah.
And people don't understand what you're living with until you're seeing it every kind of day as well. And I can vouch for that firsthand because my mother-in-law is also type 1. And because I would only see her now and again, I thought, all right, it's a breeze, like, big whoop, you're a type 1 diabetic. But when I'm living with it every day now, and since Carter's been diagnosed, it's not a breeze, is it? By any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not. It's incredibly difficult for those who have diabetes. And it's also incredibly difficult for, obviously, everybody that's surrounding them that loves and cares for them. But I think what is hard to understand is that every little decision that is made throughout a day has a consequence, has a thought behind it, whether it's what you're eating, what you're injecting, what your insulin is, where you're going, whether you've got supplies in case you have a low blood sugar.
Yeah.
Because obviously low blood sugar for diabetics can be fatal. For most human beings, if you go a bit low, you can have a chocolate bar and you're good to go. But obviously it's different for diabetics, but it does impact every little decision. I mean, when I was diagnosed, I was told it would be like brushing your teeth in the morning. You don't think about it. In some, and in some cases that's right. Absolutely, like injecting. So I inject. And before meals, I don't even think about it. I'm just like, there you go. I've done it. But in other ways, it's not like brushing your teeth because actually brushing your teeth is pretty regular. Diabetes is anything but. It's just a complete roller coaster.
Yeah, I was up like at 1:30 this morning, giving a card a correction. That could have been because he was having a bad dream or anything. It's just anything can spike it. But
Oh, like,
it's wild.
yeah.
And
Yeah, emotions, hormones, you know, whether you're hot, cold, all has an impact, and it's something that unless you've got a faulty pancreas, it doesn't. You just don't understand. Yeah.
So when were you diagnosed, Cal?
I was actually quite late. I was 14, so for childhood kind of diabetes. So I was 14. I was quite late. I was very ill. And it wasn't until I said to my mum, I'd gone on a school trip and I couldn't stop drinking and then going to the toilet literally 5 minutes later. And I'd lost a load of weight. And I said to my mum all of these things. And she marched me to the doctors. You know, she was very much like Dr. Miriam Stoppard, read all the medical encyclopedias. It was like, you know, should have been a nurse or a doctor or something, a wannabe. But she marched me up to the doctors and she was like, can you please check? I think she's got diabetes. And then, yeah, my blood sugar was off the charts and straight into hospital. And they said, actually, if it had been 24 hours later, I wouldn't have survived because I was really poorly.
Yeah, it's like Carter. Similar with Carter. Carter was diagnosed in lockdown.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a clue, and he was like, he's got thinner. He was drinking all the time. But you put everything down to he's taller than all the other kids in school, so he's going to be thin. He's drinking all the time because it's the heat of summer and we're locked in the house. So we took him for a walk. You know, you could only walk 5K, and he cried for 2 hours when he got home. And yeah, like you just said about 24 hours later with you, I dread to think if we'd been allowed to walk 10K instead of 5K, what could have possibly happened as well?
Yeah. It's something like I'm really hyper aware now. If one of my kids say to me, "Oh, I'm thirsty," I'm like, you know, I'm really aware of it. But unless kind of you have kind of dealt with that, some of the symptoms can be, you can put it down to something else.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you know, it's quite good for people to be aware of the symptoms. Because, for instance, both my younger brothers are diabetic as well, and they were diagnosed after me. So there's 3 of us out of 4 children. But straight away, they were diagnosed very early on, kind of without too severe of symptoms, because we knew what to look out for. So it's always good to, but it's hard when you're in it, you know, and you think, is it just because it is hot or whatever, you know? But I think I would always err on the side of caution. Yeah.
Good. But like I said, it's not stopping you doing everything you want. I mean, you're an endurance athlete, and he's the same now. I mean, he sees Henry Slade playing rugby. We watch the NFL as well, and there's a player for the Kansas City Chiefs, this type 1. There's a Mark Andrews, this type 1, that plays for the Ravens. There's a tennis player, this type 1 as well. So it's good to see role models like that, and people like yourself on Instagram. You've got a massive following on Instagram as well. That shows people that it's not going to stop you doing what you want to do. It just needs to be managed correctly as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was told a long time ago, you know, so, I mean, I was 14, so 20 odd years, you know, I've been a diabetic. And when I was diagnosed, you weren't allowed to do physical jobs. You weren't allowed to do this at school, at PE, even if I'd have wanted to and not, you know, been off in the woods. It was still like, you know, watch for the diabetic, you know, be cautious. And like, I remember at the time, there wasn't any information for anybody that wanted to be active with diabetes. And I didn't have that in my 20s either. I think this is the good side of social media, is that you do find
absolutely
access to information which encourages people to do it. Back in my day, I think there was a rower, Steve. Oh, what was the rower? The Olympic rower?
Redgrave.
Yeah, Steve Redgrave. So he was my hero because I was like, oh wow, look, he's an Olympian and he's diabetic.
Yeah.
At the time, I wanted to go to the Olympics as a show jumper, but that was, you know, by the way. But you know, it was amazing seeing somebody that had the same condition as me, especially as I was told so much kind of within the NHS and with clinics and stuff. Well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't apply to do. I wanted to do mounted police or Royal Guard. Couldn't do that because of diabetes. You can't do this.
Yeah, you can't go in. You can't. I don't know if you can now, but I know until recently you couldn't join the army.
Yeah. I think it is change. I think it's changed now for most things. I think there's some things where understandably you can't risk, if you're not in control and you're not aware of hypos, and obviously there's a risk if you're looking after other people for certain jobs. I get that. But
Yeah.
when it comes to what you can achieve yourself and being and participating in sports the same as other people, there's no reason why you can't do that,
No.
And it is, I think it's something that's good with social media, that you can see that. And it's not easy. It's certainly not easy, especially with endurance. It's a minefield. Sometimes it just doesn't.
I seen in Edinburgh, didn't you? You needed to fuel, but you couldn't fuel because you were too high. Did I see that?
That was Valencia. So Valencia really actually, it upset me for a lot of reasons, and I think I was cross with myself within Valencia because my blood sugars had gone super high. I mean, off. So they read HI, which means that they're above 30 or 29. So it could have been 30, it could have been 40, it could have been 50, it could have been anything. Now, usually when I do kind of like aerobic work, that brings my blood sugars down naturally, but they were not coming down. So I stopped the fuel. I thought, right, my heart rate was kind of super easy, wasn't bringing it down. It didn't come down the whole race. I was frustrated with myself with that race because I hadn't taken my injection pen with me, so I couldn't act in that race to bring it back down and correct my level. B, because I felt so shocking for this race that marathons are frustrating anyway, aren't they? You put in a lot for one day.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong on that one day. That's a whole block you've put towards that. And it's not like you can just go, oh, that's all right, I'll go and try again next week, just whatever. So I was frustrated because of that. But yeah, I couldn't feel like I felt awful. I felt really sick, kind of your normal hyper symptoms magnified. And I was gutted as well because my dad had come out, my brother had come out, and it was just like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. But that's how it goes, It's like, I now know that it was actually to do with my period, and I get higher readings in certain phases of my cycle. And this is stuff that I've gone through with other people that know a lot about diabetes. So now I know that in certain stages of my cycle I'm going to run higher, so I do need to account for that, have a bit more insulin, because there's also adrenaline on top. Adrenaline will make your blood sugar spike up. So get me on a start line, and that's in that phase of my cycle with adrenaline as well. It was never going to be a good mix. And then I've got and then I didn't take my injection pen. So that was really frustrating.
Yeah, that must be a nightmare because you just can't plan for that. It's just one of them things on the day. Like a lot of things can go wrong on a day for a normal athlete, but again, putting that on top must be and there's nothing you can do. That must be so frustrating.
I'm just a ball ache. It's just so, because you can put all the training in, and like, so if you look at somebody that hasn't got diabetes, you can kind of see what they're going to do on a race day. Yeah. So you can see what they've put in training wise. You can see what they've been doing on their long runs. Yeah. Great. So if all's good, even if you have an average day, you should be able to do this on it. But you add in something that you can control. You can control it on many levels, but then there are certain uncontrollables, and then you add that into the mix, and it's just like, well, you don't know what's going to happen, so you have to go and have a go. But then I learned from that. I now know more about my cycle. I know more about my blood sugars. I know more about. I ran Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago, and I took my injection pen. Didn't forget that. That was in my flip belt. It's a lesson learned.
Yeah. Excellent. So you've got down off the mountain, and then your running journey starts.
Yeah.
So where's that led? How long ago was that? 7 years ago.
7 years ago, yeah.
So what's been happening in the last 7 years?
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
It escalated pretty quick. So I did a 10K. I signed up for a 10K, a local one. Like I said, I was sick at the finish. It was a hot day. Ran far too hard for what I was able to do. Had a donut, went home, booked a half marathon. And then it really escalated from there. Then I signed up to do London Marathon for Diabetes UK. I thought, more fundraising. And it was the only way I was going to get into London was to do that as well. So yeah, went and did London Marathon then. And then I've kind of been on this journey ever since. I've done ultra marathons. I went off and did that for a bit, which is incredibly tough with diabetes again, but actually it's all right. It's fine. And then, I've still been on this marathon journey, kind of just chipping away at my times. I know a lot of it's arbitrary. Like, first of all, I wanted a sub 2.5 and couldn't get that for years. And then I wanted, I think first off, it was like sub 35K, things like that. And just been chipping away at times slowly. The marathon is still work in progress. I'd really love to do to run Boston qualifying time, but I need the good day. I need the day where everything goes right. It's not that I don't put in the training for it. I train, a lot, and I enjoy the training. If you took away the races and all the marathons and everything, I would be exactly the same because I love training. I love being active. So that's it. End of. So yeah, just chipping away with these marathons. I think I've just run Edinburgh, which is marathon number 9.
It's a lot in 7 years.
Yeah.
From scratch.
With COVID as well, because COVID took a big time.
Is that still the goal, Cal, the Boston qualifier? That's still like the main?
Yeah, it is. It's like I am home, but I used to be really obsessed. So I've for the past 2 years, I've said I want to get BQ. And when I started that, I think my marathon time was 4:45, 4:47. And I've brought it down to 4:03, which I ran with pneumonia, which was actually a good day for me. So all the times are coming down. And I know I can run the Boston qualifying time. I'm getting there. I mean, like, if you look at my running now compared to 2 years ago, like my paces, everything have just come on. But like anything, it's just chipping away. I had to take a bit of a step back, which is why I started triathlon, because I was just obsessing over just like BQ. And it is just it's just arbitrary, right? It is arbitrary, but also I wanted to do it again, kind of in memory of my son. So it got too emotional as well. So which is why I stepped back a bit with kind of trying not to be bothered with a marathon.
Not being all up.
Yeah, but I love it. I love working towards it. And once I get a BQ, it'll be some other goal that I'll work towards because I love working towards something. I do, like, I talk a lot about trusting the process, loving the process. And I do believe that with every bone in my body. You have got to love what you're doing, regardless of the outcome, because so far I haven't had the outcome, but it hasn't changed how I behave. I still go for it. I still train for it. And I'll still keep going for it until I don't, I either lose it, I don't want to do it, or I've done it. But while the love's there, I'll keep chipping away.
Yeah, brilliant. That's good. I was similar with me when I first started, and I'd done a load of marathons, and then like sub 3 was my goal, and like I missed it, and then finally kept working. For a while, I did have a period where I was like, I can't do this. I just didn't give up, but I was just like in my head, I don't know if I can ever do it. And then once I'd done it, it was just like, wow. And then it's well worth just digging in and keeping at it, definitely. And I've done Boston. It's an unreal race.
Oh yeah, like I really want to do New York as well, but I do want to do the 6 stars, although they're going to be 7 soon.
I know.
So not going to get the 6-star medal in time, but I love the race atmosphere, and Boston, there is something special about it. Like, so yeah, keep chipping away. But it's the same with anything, whether it's your 5K time, your half marathon time. I remember I couldn't break sub 2. I just could not break sub 2. And then it clicked in a race. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow, this is like, I can keep doing this. And now I can do it in training, and I can do it on this run and that run. And I don't think anything of it, but it was such a mental hurdle for ages.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Carry on, froze. No, he's not still there.
Yeah, no, I'm all right now. I can hear you now. Yeah, 6 stars. Nicky's got 5 of the 6 stars, and Tokyo is quite elusive at the moment, Nick.
Yeah, it's eluding me. I can't get in.
Oh no! When it's ballot, isn't it? Can you do like a sports tour or something like that?
Expensive.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And like we've talked about on earlier episodes with Carly from Brimbar, because she's just started on her journey, and like I've looked at it, in 2 years I've missed a ballot. I've even tried the charity ballot last year, which is a minefield. But like my wife said, because she's come to everyone with me and we make an holiday of everyone, and she's like, oh, well, why don't you this year just you go on a sports? So I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not for that many. We can both go, do you know what I mean? So it'll be when it'll be, you know. If I don't get in again, I don't get in. But like you say, I hope they're going to bring in Australia, innit? So it'll be set out soon. We'll have to go to Australia as well.
I don't know how that's going to work, because the medal is at the moment, isn't it?
There's no symmetry to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really like annoyed with that, because you can't sell this massive idea of 6 marathons and then make the last one elusive. Like you pay for it, I'll pay my way and everything, but once I've got 5, you've got to guarantee me a spot in that 6th one. Not for free, but I don't know. It's just, but it's gone. Running has gone so massive, and it's blown up so much. They probably didn't anticipate it being this big. Once
I mean,
eventually,
it's amazing that so many people are running, and you know, all different types of runners. I adore it. But you can see the numbers. You can see the numbers just from London this year. The ballot, and you know, crazy. I mean, if you get there, well, you're more than lucky if you get in through the ballot. But yeah.
I know. I've applied through Diabetes UK this year as well, Cal. So if you know anyone and you can put in a word, that would be outstanding.
Oh, do you know what? They were fantastic to run for. They were a really good team. I'm not sure if I think I'm still on their Facebook community page. Once you get to run for them, you can join. It's a club. But yeah, they're brilliant. They were fantastic. They were really supportive, and really helpful with a lot, especially when I ran for them. I just didn't know anything about, you know, there were some of us that had diabetes and some that had family members, you know, that had diabetes, and they were great. It was a great charity to raise money for, and JDRF as well.
Yeah, it's such a big number to raise, isn't it, for London? I think it has to be for a charity that you actually care about, so you will put in the work to it, because it's big numbers. It's very, very. I think it's 2.6 now.
Yeah, but, that's a lot.
So I'd struggle to raise that for another. With all due respect to other charities, I'd struggle to want to raise that or build a story around it. So fingers crossed with Diabetes UK, because I've never run a marathon, and I'm saying one and done, but then also subconsciously I'm worried about getting the time and then having to beat it as well. But
everybody says one and done, and then it's not. It's not, because you just get hooked.
Oh, I know. This year, Kel, so you've had a busy start to this year, and I was a Mumble Sprint, and I seen your Edinburgh post. The 2 events you've done were shit shows, right?
Yeah.
What happened in the swim in Mumbles?
Oh man, right. Wow. I think I've got PTSD from both events now. But
let loose.
Mumbles was, do you know what? We could see them putting out the boys, and I was like, that looks a long way. That doesn't look like it would be 750 meters. But I've not done an open water swim, so I have like little ones, but not in the sea. Right. Yeah, it was double. It was basically double. I was going towards that first buoy, and I was like, I'm going nowhere. I mean, I didn't know it was into a current as well, but I was just like, I'm not getting anywhere. I had this massive panic attack in the water because it was so cold, and so like I was just like, it's just so far away. So yeah, the swim was a little bit messed up. They haven't actually come out and said anything about the swim, but there's a lot of Strava statuses with
yeah, like we know a lot of boys have done that sprint under, like, was it the half? Was it Gar?
Yeah,
middle?
That's massive.
They ended up swimming like 3K or something, like way over. Like they were fuming, all them.
Yeah. Well, when I came out from my swim, there were people that had kind of just decided they weren't going to bother with the second lap for the half, and just decided to DNF there and then, because it was insane. They would have been in the water a long time as well, because it was so cold. But yeah, crazy. I'm so glad I didn't sign up for the half.
Yeah. We said because people would have trained, like, no, you're doing your marathon training. You're not running 40 miles in training just in case. And it's the same with the swimming. You're going to swim the distance. And then once you see that distance on your watch and you're in the middle of the sea, then shit the bed, innit? What's going on here?
Yeah. It was crazy. I couldn't get going then for the rest of the triathlon. I was so spent, I think, from swimming, because I hadn't swum that far in one go either in the pool.
No.
We just wasn't ready for it then. But yeah, did it, survived. It was still lush. I mean, it's beautiful down there, isn't it? And then the bike ride in the Gower, that was brilliant. And pretty crappy run on the front, to be fair. It was there's all those, I don't know what they're doing on the front at Mumbles at the moment, but it's
not nice down there at the moment, is it?
But it was an exciting swim. And then Edinburgh, well, I've been very vocal about how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Absolute shit show for a marathon, a big marathon. We're not talking just like a little one. Even they're better organised, the local marathons and stuff.
It's one that I've always looked to do and wanted to do, and like obviously I've not just yourself, I've seen other people saying just how bad it was organised after, and the hell you had after. That must have been just obviously shambles sounded.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, some people would be like, oh well, they can't control the weather. There was nothing to do with the weather. Like, I'm not I'm pretty badass when it comes to weather. I'm not phased by a bit, but when you just run a marathon, and that's just structurally it's wrong. It can't, the infrastructure there can't cope with the end of the marathon, so they need to either move it back towards Edinburgh so you actually get to see more of Edinburgh as well, or they need to put in a better system that look after the people that have just run a marathon. Once you've run a marathon, you're in no position to then be spending hours trying to find transport back with no signal on your phone, to be putting on wet clothes, nowhere to like sit down just for a minute,
No.
And you get a little oat bar for your effort as well.
Yeah.
I'd packed snacks and they were drowned in my bag that had been sat on the floor, so no good.
Yeah, that's not good, though. Like you say, it's a big marathon as well. It's not just some little country lanes and where you could accept a little bit, but that is just, that's not on.
Yeah, and then there were obviously the guys that didn't get a medal. I mean, if it's your first marathon, doesn't matter if it's your first or your 10th, really. If you want that medal, you've paid for that medal when you paid for your entry fee. So make sure that medal's there for that person. There were some really cute posts actually I saw on Facebook and stuff. I think one woman, her son had made her a medal, which was really cute. But she deserved to have a medal to take home to her son. My kids love it when I bring a medal back. They're like, "Did you win?" Yeah. Here you go. Here's the thing.
So they're out the bag, out of the way. You're back down Swansea for the Ironman 70. I never know what to say. 70.3, is that what we call them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that next? Yeah.
It's the half Ironman. Yeah, it's only a half.
Yeah. Is that next?
Yeah. I did enter Swansea half marathon actually last week, because which is coming up on Sunday. Just simply because on my training plan for the 70.3, I had like this massive bike and then an hour 40 run off it. So I was like, wow, Swansea's on that day.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. So I entered that. And then I've got Cardiff triathlon and then 70.3.
Well,
you are loving it, Kel. You're pushing.
Do you know what? I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun. And triathlon's something so like different for me, and frustrating. It's very much, jack of all trades, master of none. But I love it. I love the variety. It's taken away from my focus of just focusing on one marathon in the spring, one marathon in the autumn. I think it's contributing towards kind of my fitness in a good way as well. My aerobic engine is much better now, and I'm much more well-rounded, kind of doing different disciplines.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun. Nothing's a goal. Nothing is pressure. There's not pressure on anything. It's just go and do it, go and take part, enjoy the day, see what it brings, enjoy the training, and go with the flow.
Excellent. We won't be down Swansea half this weekend. Nikki's going to be in Castles, and I'm flying off on honeymoon. But my brother will be running this. If you see anyone that does look like me, just say hello. And don't say I like your podcast. I like your brother's podcast because he's worried about people.
They look it.
All right, I'll pick it up.
But we will be down for Swansea half, so we'll be down and we'll catch you for that. Before we take a break and move on to the questions, because that's just flowing by, fair play, Kel. What's it like managing this massive social media following as well?
I'm going to be really honest. I don't kind of like now. Always. I'm very much like I'll share what I'm feeling, thinking, doing. I don't see myself like other kind of content creators, influencers, and all the rest of it. I don't plan necessarily what I'm going to post or what I'm going to say. I'm very much just like, this is what I'm feeling today. This is what I'm really rubbish at doing, like helpful content. But I adore kind of the community from it.
Yeah.
I adore that. But I very much, especially now, take it with just kind of it's there when I want to engage with it, and then away from that, I'm very much home bird. I'm looking after my family. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm shutting off a little bit, and then I've got this community where I can kind of come back to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm different. There is a kind of big following on my socials, and I adore the people that are there for the journey. And some people are so supportive and have been, they're there from the beginning. I like sharing things. I like being real and saying when something's crap and when something's not.
Yeah, I think that's important because you can get sucked into like saying, oh yeah, try this shake just because they're giving you free shakes and it's not really a nice shake or whatever as well, isn't it?
Oh, honestly, you should see, I mean, my DMs, and it's like, can we send you this to try? Can we send you this to try? And I just ignore it. I really do. Because, if I want to work with somebody, it's because I like the product and I do use it or I do believe in it. And that's that. But all these shakes and stuff, like just go and have a glass of water and some fruit and veg every now and then. Do you know what I mean? It's
not rocket science.
It's really not. It's not. And you see more and more products coming out designed to do this and designed to do that. And it's just like, well, you don't need all of that stuff.
Do you know, I haven't looked enough into it. And from like a naive and instant negative point of view, what do you think of all like the athletes that are getting to use like the Libra and the blood and the glucose monitoring that are not diabetic as well? Is that a frustration for you, or do you think it's beneficial for the athletes? I haven't took a proper deep dive into it.
The thing that frustrates me with it is, so there are some people that still can't get the Libre on NHS, right?
Yeah,
so it depends
we're lucky that he's 9, he gets everything, but older, like my mother-in-law struggles to get the newest tech. Yeah.
So I self-funded for a year to prove to my diabetic team that it was helpful for me. So I bought them for a year, and it was like 50 quid a pop. So it's like, £100 a month. To monitor your blood sugars, and it's so much more effective and brilliant compared to finger pricking.
Yeah, absolutely, and convenient.
It's convenient, yeah. But the thing that frustrates me with it is kind of, yes, there are people that have that, but okay, it's a paid thing, but there's still people on the NHS that can't get that do genuinely need a product like that. So that frustrates me.
Yeah.
But also, I do think it's like Zoe and, glucose this and glucose that. People forget that they do have natural glucose increases and fluctuations. If you're diabetic, if you're not diabetic, it's part of your body. And I don't know. I just think it's more tech than people need. And I don't think it's going to give you anything. I think there's a lot of over tech right now. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, you're similar with Technic, you know. You don't like one of the boys always tells you to run with the heart monitor and stuff, but you just go off whatever, don't you?
Go off feel and pace, and I know what I've learned over the years now, what works for me, what doesn't, and I'm not not worrying about, I'm not going into heart rate and deep diving into pace zone. Well, not pace I do, but not zones and thresholds. And I just know myself off my own feel and body. Like I run tonight, done just a nice little hilly route up and down, and I just run off feel what felt comfortable and easy for me. Like a lot of it's more the triathlete boys, like I understand it's a long distance. I understand you need that then, but for me, no, I don't. I'm not. I gotta watch it, start, stop. Got my average pace. I just go fast.
Yeah, I think feel is just the most underrated tool that you've got as a I've tried like Stride Pod. I thought that was a load of tosh. I'll put that in the bin. I'm very different to my partner, who's like, loves the tech and data. I'm the complete opposite. I'm just like, whatever. I do pay attention to heart rate, but even now I've stopped wearing my heart rate strap because I know what my heart rate is for my effort, and I know what it'll be. So if my watch is saying roughly around whatever, then I know it's going to be not far off. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Right. Thank you very much, Kel. We'll take a quick break. Our usual this or that, a couple of questions off Instagram, and our closing question. You happy with that?
Yeah, fab.
Welcome back. It's that time of the week again where Nicky has got his list of this or that for our guest. Nick, got him?
Yes. Here we go, Cal. First one, trail or road?
Oh, trail.
Would you rather run every day on a treadmill or the same loop?
Oh, same route.
Would you prefer running with music or without?
Oh. Well, I don't know, because if I'm... Oh, okay. With.
With?
Yeah.
Would you rather bike 100 miles or run a marathon?
Run a marathon.
Clip in or not? Or with your shoes on your bike? Are you now? Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a pro now. I've fallen off. I've got my badges.
Badges. Awesome. Last one off me before the questions. Wales or England?
Oh, that's mean. Well, I'm going to... it's a split household, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say England because I'm English.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bloody hell. That's funny because, like I said earlier, Carter sees Henry Slade. He supports England in the rugby now, and I'm like, that's not quite how it works. But until Wales have got a diabetic player, I'm going to have to let him support England, don't I?
You have to put an ad out calling somebody diabetic and
Oh. Right, let's have a look. Right, we've got, how do you juggle it all? How do you structure your day to fit everything in?
Oh, honestly, I don't think many people would actually want my day because I don't stop. So I'm up early. I'm always up really early, and I go to bed quite late. So if you ask me about recovery and sleep, it's pretty minimal. But my days are structured mainly around the children. So it's like school drop-offs, pickups on a weekday. I try and get a lot of work done. I'm not very good at working out first thing in the morning. A lot of it's like blood sugar levels, but I just also can't function properly. I need like 2 cup of teas before I'm, with the world. But I do my work kind of quite early on, get that done. And then, I'm quite fortunate in the fact that I can do a couple of workouts a day. So I do double quite a lot, like swim, run, bike, run, whatever, strength. But that's my kind of downtime. That's my time I haven't got anything booked in, if you like. So it is just constantly like coming from this thing to that thing to that thing. And then when the kids have got after school clubs, it's even more chaotic and, and all the rest of it. But it works. I just don't stop. I really don't stop. It's but I don't like to stop either. Like if you said to me, okay, you can sit down and relax for a couple of hours, I'd find that incredibly difficult because that's the kind of person I am. I can't just be still. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What or has your tri-coach or coach changed in your training to suit triathlon training?
Well, they're just doing the triathlon training that they like their principles, I guess, or whatever they think is right for me as a beginner triathlete or aiming for 70.3. So they haven't changed anything with my training. They've given me their training. If that makes
okay. Yeah. This is a loaded question, really. I'm sure you've got a lot of answers for this. You do a lot of races. Which one taught you a lesson in life, good or bad?
Yeah,
Anyone?
I think they all teach you something, you know, whether they're teaching you that something was a mistake or, you know, don't do that again.
Take
I've
your
had
pen.
my fair share of them. You know, like I said earlier on, Valencia taught me a lot of things. Never forget my pen. But yeah, I think it's if you come away from a race and you can't take anything from it, then it's pretty crappy. I think whether it's gone well or whether it's gone badly, take what that race has taught you and apply it to the next race, or don't.
Yeah.
But use that information.
Okay, cool. Weirdest thing you've been asked on Instagram or at a race?
Oh God. I don't think any of the weird things on Instagram are repeatable.
Yeah.
Luckily, Instagram's got quite a good block filter, and I do miss a lot anyway in like other messages.
Yeah, it
but,
took us ages to get hold of you.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm so bad because it can get really busy in there, and I try hard to like not miss anything, but I do. But yeah, there's been some weird ones. Propositions, heat pictures.
Yeah. Sorry
like
about
that. Yeah, it's all right. You know, get it.
Right, and the girls, so our local park run, in my stag, the girls are running it, absolutely love this podcast. They're fangirls for you, and they are fangirls of Lizzie as well. So obviously they want us to ask if you'll go on a girls' day out with them. Please. You don't have to say yes. Don't be polite. You can just say no, stranger danger. But I've asked the question.
I'm always up for a girls' day out if it involves an activity.
Oh, they do like the activities as well, don't they? And drinking after.
And drinking after, that's acceptable. You got if you do something beforehand, then a drink after is part of it, isn't it?
The reward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, Kel. And our wrap-up question. I don't know if you've seen her before, but who would play Kelly Ruck in a movie about her life?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know. Who would? Somebody slightly psychotic. I don't know. Who would play me? See, this has put me on the spot because I can't even think of any actresses at all now. Who's a female actress?
We're going to have to start sending this question out before the podcast so people can think about it.
Dance.
Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps you can ask for some suggestions because I've got no idea.
Yeah, we'll just clip this up and we'll put a suggestion box out. Gives us a piece of content for this evening as well, then.
Yeah, like I feel like it'd have to be somebody with a bit of crazy energy. Not quite there.
Yeah, we'll ask our audience.
We'll ask the audience. I think they're like Chris Tarrant, no, Nick?
Chris Tarrant. Is that who's playing me?
No, he said ask the audience.
Yeah.
Right, that's been absolutely wonderful, Kel. I flew by. Thank you very much for giving us your time. We won't see you in Swansea on the weekend. But if you do see someone who looks like me, give them an high five. And we will definitely find you on Swansea Half as well, Ironman. Nick,
yeah, well, I'll be out there all day.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll be out on the track with them.
Yeah,
Nick,
I'll be.
Anything?
No,
sorry?
Awesome. Obviously, a good insight because obviously you know more about the diabetes, but I didn't have. Obviously, I know very little, so that was good insight. Hopefully, that helps some people are listening and gives them some insight. If they're an aspiring athlete or doing endurance sports, that gives them a bit of insight as well. So yeah, that was good. A bit different.
Right, fantastic. Nick, I'll let you wrap it up with a special one for the Castle start line, maybe, is it?
Yeah, there is. That's it for this week. Thanks to Kelly, and I will see you at Carnarvon Castle. If whoever's there, come say hello and let's get it on. Castle's weekend.
Let's go.